All right, folks, I know it's been a long time coming. I've been promising this for a while, but this is finally going to be the tour of the brand new, actually not so brand new anymore. I've almost owned it a year, believe it or not. The Nitro Z18. It is early April. I'm about to head out for a fishing expedition. I've caught one bass all year so far. That changes today, I promise. You can see I got a couple extra rods there. Renee is going to be joining us later in the day. Let's start with the boat tour and show it off to you. All right, first on the rear, hanging off the rear, we've got the Mercury 150 Pro XS. I opted to go with the 150 instead of the 175 because I wanted to put that money into other places. I was trying to keep to a budget. I know, shocker, right? But anyway, I stuck with the 150. I've top speed so far has been 56 miles per hour, plenty fast enough for me, enough to get bugs in my face, you know, that kind of thing. Put it on a jack plate because a Slidemaster manual jack plate, because later on I'm planning on perhaps adding some power poles to this thing, and you must have a jack plate on here for that. So yeah, rocks around pretty good, no issues with it so far, and as Zux knows, I'm in love with it. All right, the aft deck, starting with the battery compartment. This battery compartment, y'all, is gigantic. I'm going to have Renee take a look in there. If I wanted to put 2 or 3 more batteries in here, I easily could. I've stashed it with some other stuff for now. Always have the Sta-Bil fuel treatment. Here's the thing that's really cool about this. It's got a power master switch. So when you're charging the boat and you don't have you don't want the power to drain while you're trying to charge, you just flip this switch to the off position. All the electronics on the boat are turned off. They can't get power, so your battery isn't constantly draining while it's trying to charge. I also keep a set of tools back here just in case. I have found to my dismay a couple of times I've needed some tools and did not have them. Storage is going to be like a constant praise I give this boat. As you guys know, well, I'll tell you about my tracker in a bit. One of the complaints about my tracker that I had, and don't get me wrong, I loved my tracker 175, loved it. But storage was very, very small in that boat. Here, plenty of storage. Got these compartments for the Plano 3700 series boxes. They completely lift out. Helps you get to your battery compartment back there if you need to. There's my tools. Just an awesome amount of storage in here. I've got an identical one on the other side. And this one, I've got Renee's 3700 Plano box in here too, but I also keep my my wet weather gear and stuff in here too. And if I have a guest on the boat, they can put their tackle in there. Finally, even though I don't use it because I'm not a tournament angler, it's nice to have. And if I go to catch some white perch for some catfishing later on, I will probably make use of these. But the dual live well. Got a divider in between, so you can put fish on both sides. It has an automatic drain that I can control from the pilot console. And I haven't had a chance to test it out yet, but I know everybody raves about these Nitro live wells, so can't wait to try it out myself. Just not sure when I'm going to get to. All right, so here's the pilot console. You might be asking, like, why, Dinheru, why didn't you like get the touchscreen stuff? What happens if I'm on the water and my touchscreen goes out? Then I can't control anything, right? So I opted for the normal switches. So you got your power switch to go to the front. All this stuff is pretty normal. I'll show you what additions I did make though. Upgraded to the Garmin 12-inch graph here at the console. Had it flush mounted, so it's right there. I don't have these consoles sticking up everywhere, getting in the way, getting bugs smacked into them at 55 miles per hour. I stuck with Garmin because I had a 9-inch Garmin on my tracker, and I love the Garmin mapping. And I wasn't planning on getting forward-facing sonar or any of that other new stuff that costs several $1,000s. I just wanted good down scan, side scan, and standard sonar and some good mapping. And I feel like with those sonar options, Humminbird, Lowrance, Garmin, they're all pretty much equal in that respect. I just feel like Garmin's mapping is superior, and I make extensive use of mapping when I'm on the water. So that's why I stuck with Garmin. And then you're going to see in a little bit when we get up to the bow of the boat, I've got all Garmin units, and they all talk to each other. It's awesome. Another upgrade I made is the passenger console here. This was, believe it or not, a specific request from Rene. She had to have a she had to have a console to protect her from the wind when it's cool, kind of like it is today, even though the sun's starting to beat down on us now. But it's got a nice glove compartment area in here with a lot of storage. Once again, storage, like way more storage than I ever had in my tracker. Got the oh no handles, just in case. Instead of having a seat in the middle like I had on my tracker that everybody would step on to get from the front to the back of the boat, I opted for a storage unit here. So it's carpeted. You can step on this, no problem. You open it up and you got a box where you can keep all sorts of little knickknacks. You got your fishing gloves. I've got the remote control for my Garmin here, whistle, some rags, stuff like that, rangefinder, all the things you need right there at your fingertips. Love it. I also upgraded to the hot foot. I have never had a boat with a hot foot. I wasn't quite sure what to think, but I'm telling you, I will never drive a boat without a hot foot ever again. Well, I might, but it won't be mine. I love that thing. Just like driving a car, then you have the tilt lever here so that you can trim your motor up and down as you're going up and down the lake. It's amazing. Another thing I opted for that you've probably seen in pictures, but I can't show you now because it's too bright outside, is I got LED lighting around the boat. So the control for the LED lighting is down there right below the throttle shifter. And there to its left, you will also see the control for the live well plug. Just awesome. You also probably saw down here this ram mount. This actually came for my phone. This actually came standard with the boat, believe it or not. Like when they engineered these new Nitro boats, like they thought of everything. You got the ram mount, and back behind the seat here, I have USB chargers if I ever need to charge my phone while I'm on the water. It's amazing. It's amazing technology. Finally, one more thing before we move up to the bow. Tired of bringing coolers on your boat, taking up room? Built-in cooler. Got some Gatorades in there. Little sandwich tray, so if you want to put some food in there to keep cool, you can put it in there and it won't get wet. I cannot tell you how many times I wish I had a trash can on my tracker. Like you get some soft plastics, you get some line you need to cut off, you got wrappers for your food you need to throw away, and nowhere to throw it because you don't have a trash can. Nitro gives us a trash can that just slides right on in there. It's amazing. A minute ago, I was talking about Garmin electronics. I have a Garmin 9-inch. This is the same unit, well, not the same unit, but the same brand unit or the same model unit I had on my tracker at the pilot console. I have that up here now, so I use it for sonar when I'm up here fishing at the bow. But you'll notice that I also have a Garmin trolling motor. That was intentional. This is the Garmin Force trolling motor. It's actually fairly new on the market. It was released in like 2019, 2020. And the reason I went with the Garmin Force is so that way I could have Garmin units all throughout the boat. They all talk to each other. So if I'm at the pilot console and I set a waypoint, all of these units get it, including the trolling motor. I set a waypoint here, trolling motor and the pilot console get it. Now, to be fair, you can make any unit, regardless of brand, talk to one another, even across brands. It just takes a little more engineering to do it. I decided to go with all Garmin so it would be seamless, and I'm telling you, I absolutely love it. Here's another thing about this trolling motor is On my tracker, one of my main complaints was that if the wind was above 10 miles per hour, like fishing was extremely difficult. I'd have to stand on the trolling motor pedal all day just to maintain position. This Garmin Force has the anchor lock on it. Like there's more than enough power for me to be able to hold a spot or move around as I need to. And the toll it takes on my body throughout the course of a fishing day is a fraction of what it was before. That just makes it totally amazing. Here's another really cool thing about the Garmin Force trolling motor. The pedal, it's wireless. You can literally take this pedal anywhere on the boat and you can control the trolling motor from it, right? I know, shocked face. I actually had a couple of nephews on the boat last year, and I sat in the pilot console with the trolling motor pedal while they fished up here. It was pretty cool. You'll have to forgive the pollen everywhere. This is just South Carolina in April. But yeah, so it's really cool. One more thing about this Garmin trolling motor is it has a remote control. So not only can I move the trolling motor pedal anywhere on the boat, I could leave the trolling motor pedal there and just control it with remote control. And when I launch the boat fishing solo, this is exactly what I do. I use the trolling motor, tell the remote to tell it to go park out in the middle of the cove, and the boat will sit there and wait for me while I go park the truck. Pretty amazing stuff. Now, let's talk about storage. By the way, did I mention storage? One of the massive problems I had with my tracker was that the rod locker on that boat could only hold 6.5 foot rods. All my rods are 7 feet or longer, which means I had to store my rods on the deck. And that made it really difficult to get around and fish, right? Well, now I don't have that problem anymore. That rod locker, if I didn't have the organizer, could probably hold 30 rods or more. With the organizer, it holds 15 easily. I could probably stuff a few more in there if I needed to, but I have 12 in there now, and that's plenty. They just slot right into the little holders, and it's awesome. I am all rigged up. I can run whatever baits I want today in whatever situation, no problem at all. This middle compartment, I'm totally in love with. This is where I keep all my tackle and my soft plastics and stuff. You look at tournament guys, you're going to find this thing packed to the brim. I'm not quite that hardcore, but it's still awesome anyway. All my terminal tackle that I use frequently, all my soft plastics, my most frequently used crankbaits, all those are stored in here. I got a little box in there where I store my my dyes and stuff. Keep them in the box so they don't leak out. Everything's awesome. And then finally on the right side is just my general storage compartment. So you'll see I've got my life jackets in there. I've got the pedestal seat. If you look in there to the left, you'll see that the light pole and the actual pedestals themselves clip onto the side. And basically everything I need in there is handy, ready to go in case I ever need it. So that's basically it. I could get into a whole lot of more detail on a lot of stuff and make this a 30-minute video, but don't get me wrong, you know, I loved my tracker boat. I had it for 10 years. I caught a lot of fish off of it. But I found myself looking for something just a little bit more. Something that could handle rough water, something that could mount a spot lock trolling motor, all that kind of thing. And so I had this custom rigged to my specifications, and I'm totally in love with it. So far, so good. It's been almost a year. It's been great. Not had any problems with it. And I'm looking forward to catching a lot of fish on this thing. And I can't wait for you guys to see it. So go out there and attack life, you guys. Thank you for being part of the BSU community, and we'll catch you later.